Hello and welcome to another That Random Model. Today's episode, we are going to talk about motorcycles, specifically small motorcycles, scooters. This review is going to be on the Honda Motocompo. This is a scooter that was developed for dense urban commuting in places like Tokyo, where a lot of these cars and motorcycles are sold. Now, for those of you who don't know, Honda, although they are known for uh, passenger cars today, they started off as a motorcycle company. They made the beloved Cub Sport. So I believe it's a 125cc motor. And it was basically ubiquitous around the world for light, cheap travel. But in the 60s, they were told by the government, you better start making cars to mobilize Japan or else. And so they entered the car market. But this goes back to their original roots, being a motorcycle and scooter company. Basically, they were Japan's answer to Vespa at the time. And this shows it. This is your body, molded, injected. Very simple, very nice. Crisp lines in the detail. Really like that. Aoshima has a good reputation. They're kind of like the Honda of model kits, um, and and especially in motorcycle kits, they do a really good job at the 1/12 scale kits. But they also do 1/24 scale. I'm working on a few right now, and this is one of their motorcycle offerings. Here you have the engine cover, as well as the Honda cover on the engine, your seat, your rims. This scooter is very simple. In fact, it's a compact design that was made to um, unfold like a Swiss Army knife. So as you get it, you would get this first off. If you bought a Honda City 2 Bulldog, I think any City 2 Turbo, you could get this as an option. It didn't come with the car, but if you got the car, you could option this like you would a set of luggage racks, and you'd get it into the. In fact, that the City 2 is the car on the thumbnail. So you would get this. It would be in your trunk. It's a two-door hatchback, a little bit smaller than a Honda Civic, and you would drive throughout Tokyo. You'd park, and then you'd open the hatch. You'd pull out your Motocompo, and then you'd drive around till you get to your office building. And it was meant to to make the streets of Tokyo less congested. Is actually a very clever idea. It was very popular, but unfortunately, it didn't do enough to start a huge trend. So we have just this one generation. More on that in a second. So here are some chrome-plated pieces. You got looks like your headlight, some engine parts, your taillight, which you'd have a cover that goes over this, probably a cover that goes over that as well. Mirror, handlebars, etc. Part of the frame inside. Oh, and right here, if you can see it, it says Honda. This goes on their side, and what the cutouts right here. This is where you would grab onto it from both sides. You'd pick it up like that to get it in and out of your vehicle. So very simple, very utilitarian. Here are your real rubber tires. At this scale, since you get a lot more detail, you can see the tread patterns. But you also get on these motorcycles, especially from Aoshima, you get a lot of these rubber hoses for plumbing the engines. It just adds a little bit more detail to your kit. So I'm not seeing clear parts in here. Did I miss that, or is that something that is painted? that piece one more time. Now, it is possible that there's no clear cover on it, but we'll look at the instructions in a second. We'll see if I'm missing something. Very likely I am. Here's your decals. You've got your Motocompo detail. I love this 80s digital graphic where it's blocked. You're seeing this now on the Hyundai electric cars that are coming out, like the Ioniq, and I think the Ioniq 5 has these on there. I saw one today, and the new N74 is a concept car that they're making. It has their taillights have this digital pixelated look to it. It's really really amazing. So you have all these engine details, warnings. There's your gauges, Honda emblems. So you can paint this different colors. Originally, they came in yellow, red, white, blue. I have seen them in black. I've seen them other colors. Of course, if you Google them, you'll find a whole bunch of people that have customized them because, of course, they're going to want to do one with their style nowadays. And these are something that you can pick up relatively cheap. They weren't very expensive when they were new, and they still are something that you can get in the United States. This is actually something that didn't sold. It was only sold basically in Japanese market, which is called JDM, Japanese domestic market. The city car was a car that they only sold in a few countries, Japan, obviously. And so this was only something that was sold in the motherland over there. But there's importers of this in the United States now and in other countries, and so you can pick these up relatively inexpensive from other places. As you're assembling these, you can see how basically the it can go folded up or out. So you can assemble it either of those two ways. I see that there's no glass pieces in here, so it looks like you would just assemble this with the headlights and the taillights as is. There's no clear piece to go over that. So, which is a shame. It adds a little bit of realistic to it, but if you are good with clear coat and the paints, you could probably simulate that pretty good. So this is not the end of the story, because although this is a 1/12 scale, personally, I love 1/24 scale. This is going to be a fun kit to put together. This is red, as you can see. This is an example of the yellow, and it's a 1/24 scale kit. So let's look at that. Of course, you're not going to have the same details, the same amount of pieces as you're going to in the Aoshima kit. This is much smaller, but spoiler alert, there's some really cool stuff in here. So we're going to start with the instructions, and we're just going to flip through those real quick. As you can see, very rudimentary decals, some metal pieces, metal stickers basically is what they call them. And I'm going to put this aside for a second because I don't want to spoil the surprise. There's a really cool surprise in here. We'll get to that in a second. So we're going to start with the decals. As you can see, they're very similar to the ones on the Aoshima sheet. You're going to have your manufacturer warning labels and such, your Motocompo decals, your Honda decals. But still really nice there, your metal stickers. And there's the body. Look at that in all its 1/24 scale joy. One thing about the Motocompo, if you do a Google search, you might be able to find it on YouTube. You might be able to find it in other places. But there's actually a really funny video that if you know the 80s group, shoot, what is their name? Madness. They did the song "Our House," British pop band, If you're familiar at all with Madness, Madness did at least one or two commercials for the Motocompo as an option to the City 2. So here is your 124 scale body. This is resin cast, I believe. I've gone over this before. Here's your engine with your little. Here's the engine that would go back here. Of course, I'm not assembling it right now. Here's your little tiny wheels. Boy, they're about the size of a steering wheel on a 124 scale car. Probably even smaller than that. In fact, do I have a steering wheel handy? I should. I was working on something recently. Here it is. No, the steering wheel's not there. Anyway, here's a instrument panel. You put that in front of it. It's about the same size as the steering wheel. So that's funny. And here is this wheel, which on motorcycles, generally motorcycle wheels are bigger than passenger car wheels. This is a passenger car wheel, a modern one done in, I want to say about 21, 22 inch. And that's your scooter tire in comparison. So we're looking at about 10 inch. So you could fit two of them across this rim. Or if you're pretty clever and you think you know what you're doing, you could find a little hidden Mickey somewhere. So anyway, enough fun with that. This isn't frivolous fun, by the way. This is a serious business, model making. You got your pieces, you've got your seat, little tiny. Again, this is for one person to get around with. This is a very, very tiny purpose-built commuter vehicle. You got some clear pieces. You've got some clear pieces on this, whereas you didn't on the other one, including the tail light right there. So there's your handlebars. Really, really nice kit from Zoomon. Just like the 112 kit is a really nice kit from Aoshima. This is a really nice kit from Zoomon. Their quality is on display now. Now I don't know if this comes across, if this translates when you see this, but this resin, I don't know if I've ever done this before. I don't know if I've ever showed you. I've looked at Zoomon kits a few times, and just pull this out, make sure that it's nothing. But this material, it's super brittle. Of course, I say it. Oh, there it goes. It's super brittle. So exercise very good care. I mean, especially with these little pieces right here, they just fly right off or break. So if you ever do find yourself getting a kit, first off, what I would probably recommend is probably pick up two if you really want to make one of these for a nice little diorama or a nice little display. You might want to consider picking up two. They're not very expensive, and boy, if you lose one of these pieces or snap it in half, you're not going to be too happy. And they sell out every so often. They'll sell out and make some more. So, but I did promise you a bonus feature in this that's really clever and cool. Something that's not in the Aoshima kit, but but unlike the taillights, is something that's even crazier and more fun, because when, good grief, well, we'll do that later. Unlike the Aoshima, oh, what was I going to say? Since you could buy this as a option for another car, it would come in a box. And Zoomon has given you the option to make the box. And if you cut along these lines and fold it over and you apply glue where needed, you can make this look like a little box and a little diorama sitting over in the corner. Or if you're really clever, you have it open and you have a compact body sitting inside waiting to be pulled out for the first time. That would definitely be something neat. Tamiya makes a Honda City kit that comes with a Motocompo scooter that's in plastic. It's much more basic than this. It probably has about 8 parts if you're lucky. And but you could still make it to put it in the back. You can make it. I think you can make it compact, or you can make it like it's being ready to be driven. And I think the City 2 that comes with that also has a figure that will sit on the Motocompo. So it's really cute for dioramas. But I don't know if it has this in there. I can't remember if it has it in there or not. But this is definitely this is worth the price of admission, as they say. This is definitely worth the price of picking up this kit. So as you can see, if you fold it, and when you fold these things, this is not something you're going to want to screw up or get creases in. So you're going to want to get like a photo etching bending piece or something. Put a ruler out for a straight edge so that you can get nice crisp lines, because this is a lot thicker than paper. This is what they call cardstock thickness. And when you've got it put together, I saw one of these set up, and it does look like it would lend itself to being scale thickness to the box it would come in. So very, very neat, very clever. Definitely, definitely love this. I mean, when I saw that, when I pulled this out and saw this, I thought that was just the best thing ever. Now, I did say that the Motocompo sold for a few years in one generation, and that's true. But with the way the world's leaning right now, with e-bikes and the like, Honda has reintroduced the Motocompo as an e-bike that is way thinner and more compact, but probably a little bit more fun if you're into e-bikes. Now, I've never ridden one, so I don't know. But what theirs looks like, basically, it looks almost like a upright credit card, but large. And it kind of, it's real chonky, and it has a steering wheel and all, and you just unfold it a little bit, and it roars to life. And boy, oh boy, that definitely looks like a good solution to a lot of the commuter problems that Tokyo still exists, places like New York City, maybe not so much as LA, but you get the idea. Mexico City, other Asian urban populations where there's a huge concentration of people in dense skyscraper jungles. So anyway, that was our build for our review and unboxing for this week. I will be doing some more building to the Star Destroyer. I wasn't able to get the masks I want made for this week, so we will be working on that later. If you're interested in watching that, if not, I can just do a finish the build and post that in its own little short format video. But it looks really neat as is. I really like these Zoomon boxes. They're quite neat looking on the little scooters. So there you go. You got your 1/12 and 1/24 scale of the same thing, and different ways of going throughout the. Now, one thing you can do right there, if you want to simulate these cables and wires and all, you can get really tiny electrical wire. You'd be able to glue that down and make it look really nice. You could even go with. I've got some right here. Now this is silver, but you can get wire for like bead making or jewelry. maybe even very, very thin solder that, I don't know if solder comes black, but, if you get thin wire that's black, you can, make it look really, really believable. So, there it is. Thank you so much for joining. Thank everybody who's watching live, and thank everybody who will be watching this later. Thank you so much, and enjoy the hobby. Have a great day.